Good.
So yeah, okay, go ahead. So we're gonna talk about restaurants.
Do restaurants have accounts receivable at all?
For the most part, no. It really depends what kind of chain, because there are some that do catering,
Hmm.
and then the catering may be a 30-day thing or a 15-day thing. So those types of restaurants may carry some accounts receivable, but the fast food chains, that's just, and here's your food, here's the money, goodbye.
And should a restaurant use cash or accrual accounting?
Well, that goes back to follow up on the previous question about is there accounts receivable.
Hmm.
It depends. If you get the money as soon as you sell the product, then cash is the correct one. Accrual would only really work or make sense if you have accounts receivable. If you're the type of industry that has 15, 30-day receivables, then that, may benefit them. Also, if you're a company that likes to prepay for things, which again, you don't see this a lot on fast food places. You don't see this. This is mostly high-end restaurants that have receivables, that have, do corporate events, school work with government events, things like that. Those are more that tend to prepay for things. Then accrual would make more sense. But your local mom and pop shop that, you go in, you order, 10 minutes, your food is ready. In terms of accounting method, many do first in, first out. So that means that whatever comes in first in terms of what's purchased, that's the first one that gets used to make food and go out.
So my understanding is if you have like a pound of potatoes come in, and then another, well, like 10 pounds of potatoes come in, and another 10 pounds, they're going to use that first pound first, and
First 10 pounds, right?
and consider that gone once the point of sale is complete.
Correct.
The tips in particular, how do you account for that? I mean, a lot of it's cash, or how do you keep track of that, and what should you keep track of?
Well, believe it or not, I mean, these days, a lot of the tips are in cards now, so they're included in the bill. So now you need to account for the way the payment works. The payment processing works is they collect the amount, they charge their fee for collecting the payment, and then they pay you the rest. They don't detail it for you. They don't give it to you in pieces. Like, here's $10 for tips. Here's the sales tax. No. They just give you $100. They deposit it to your account. Now it's your job as the restaurant owner to say, okay, from these $100, $8 is for sales tax, $7 was actual tips for the employees, and then my amount that I keep over in this example is only $85. So these are all the things that restaurants are responsible for, to detail out, to highlight, which bookkeeping comes in, because otherwise the bank statement just says the merchant deposited $100. That's all the statement is going to say.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Now the tips, are they taxable? Are they part of people's income? Like, what do you need to keep track of for that?
Tips are taxable. Now, and even when it comes to wages, there's a minimum wage system.
Mm-hmm.
So for employees that receive tips, the minimum wage is different. So it's a little bit, their minimum wage is less, because the concept is that the tips that they're going to get are going to account for the original minimum wage. So that payroll, the way that, minimum wage gets accounted for those people, and the way and also for Social Security as well, because tips are also subject to Social Security tax as well. So that all needs to get accounted for when it gets received, and it gets to be reported. Also, the way the W-2s are done a little bit different because of that. And this all goes back. I know I'm mentioning a lot of different taxes, but this all goes back to the importance of accurate bookkeeping, because again, all you're going to see in a bank statement is the credit card company deposited $100 for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
From that going forward, what was sales tax? What was tips? What was this? What was that? That's on you. That's on the restaurant to take care of.